Week 1 of the NFL season is in the books. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the Deep Dig Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew. My other host right over there.
What's up? It's D. Good to see you again. NFL football was back. Before we dig into anything, though, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Drop some comments below. Let us know your thoughts because this is a show for the people.
And I'm glad the Niners got a win. My fantasy team got a commanding win. Feeling good. Won some bets. How was your first football weekend back?
It was horrible. It was horrible, but that's what we want. We want the thrill of victory. We want the agony of defeat. I mean, the 49ers won, obviously. That was good. My fantasy team got smoked by a new guy, so that's tough. That's very tough. Bets, I didn't put any bets down, so that was cool. I mean, I didn't lose any money. I didn't gain any money. It is what it is.
And a moment of silence for all the fantasy players who lost because of Christian McCaffrey. Way to trick us all, John Lynch.
All right, so do you want to let's just start on the 49ers game and we'll go from there?
Yeah, we're going to be talking all the notable games from this week, but let's start at Monday night where the 49ers just gave Jets the work. Christian McCaffrey right before the game saying, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to play." John Lynch, "Oh yeah, he's going to play." Didn't play. And then JP Mason just goes off.
Okay, and so have you seen the drama that has been developing and ensuing since JP Mason or Jordan Mason's post-game on the field sidelines comments?
Yeah, so Mason said that he was told on Friday he was getting the start on Monday, but the 49ers all the way up until game time were saying McCaffrey might play. So that's where this whole injury designation, injury report situation comes into play.
Yeah, and I think that the league is going to come down on the 49ers for this, realistically, because the league has, I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, I don't care about your fantasy football team." And that's true. Like, honestly, I don't care about your fantasy football team. If I am Kyle Shanahan, if I'm John Lynch, if I'm Christian McCaffrey, I don't care. But the league has already set this precedent that they do care. There is a bunch of money on fantasy, and not just with that, there is a bunch of money on gambling. And they have the DraftKings partner. You see that with NFL Red Zone. You see that all over the NFL that they have gotten into bed with the bookies. They have gotten into bed with fantasy. And if you are going to mess with our bottom line, we are going to hammer down. And I think that the 49ers are going to face repercussions with this, and they should, realistically.
Yeah, and when the NFL got in bed with these gambling sites and basically was like, yeah, we're going to make a bunch of money off of it, they have to care about this injury stuff because it could have changed the line. It did affect a lot of people and where they were betting on the Jets or the Niners, all the individual stats that went into the betting. So it changes so much money in people's hands by the 49ers lying about this and trying to like get a competitive advantage. And I understand from a competitive standpoint, but at the end of the day, like, you knew he wasn't going to play. If he was that close, I'm pretty sure McCaffrey would have went.
Yeah, and I seen that JP Mason was like really tore up about it in the post-game press conference afterward. He was like, "Hey, I made a mistake. It's going to overshadow what he did." Well, the performance he had, he was a dog, dude. And he just showed that he is a guy behind Christian McCaffrey. And I hope that is going to be the main focus for him moving forward. He can continue to build off this performance and he doesn't like beat himself up for what he said off the field because it wasn't even his mistake. It is based off of leadership. It's the 49ers, it's Kyle Shanahan, it's John Lynch. That should not overshadow what he did on the field.
Yeah, you got to think young player, undrafted, unmedia trained, probably just saying whatever really happened.
Yeah.
And if you had like McCaffrey in the same situation, there's no way he leaks that, "Oh yeah, I knew I was going to," like, he's not leaking that kind of information to the media, but someone who doesn't really talk to the press, just kind of telling it how it is. That's how you know that the 49ers really lied about this, because Mason didn't even have it in his mind that, "Oh, I probably shouldn't say this information." Probably should have coached him up a little bit on answering, but I don't think they would have thought he was going to have like such a monster game and be have the world's eyes on him at that moment.
That's true. I mean, hindsight is 2020, but again, this falls back onto leadership. But what this performance did on the field, man, the 49ers look good. I don't know if it's just the 49ers look that great or the Aaron Rodgers Jets just aren't what they're cracked up to be. We waited for like an entire almost like a full year for this and it just wasn't that good.
Yeah, my first thoughts on the Jets is, are we sure that Robert Saleh is a good coach? He has a lot of talent. Yeah, he's a great motivator, but when it comes down to being a head coach, have we seen him do enough to prove that this team should be a contender? I think offensively, I don't see the expertise and the X's and O's that they would need in order to compete for a championship. And defensively, they have the talent, but they just got exposed by the 49ers, who really didn't have their most explosive performance, but still won by a blowout.
Yeah, I mean, you see what it is. You surrounded Aaron Rodgers with a bunch of Aaron Rodgers friends, a guy that got hired by the Broncos to be the head coach because they wanted Aaron Rodgers to be there. He gets canned because he just isn't a good coach offensively, but he's buddy with Aaron Rodgers. So you bring him on to OC, and it's nothing felt creative. Nothing felt like it was going in the flow. Aaron Rodgers looks slow. He looks slower than usual in his progressions. He looks slower. He had the one play that I guess people were like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is back, which is the free play, which is his go-to. But that was something that it comes instinctively to him. He just looked slow out there. He looked like he was playing underwater.
Yeah, when you've got nothing to lose on a free play like that, you're gonna put it up either way. So it's kind of a throw that you can step into fearless, see a guy running down, hit him in the seam, and if it gets picked, it doesn't matter. So, I mean, you can't really judge too much off. Yeah, great play on his part, but yeah, other than that, not seeing the field that great. They just look they look so stale out there. They look stagnant. And I was expecting this to be a defensive battle. 49ers, Brock Purdy didn't even throw a touchdown.
Yeah.
And
he had one that was dropped. And I don't know if you've seen the clips of like Peyton Manning being pissed about it. He's like, yo, you don't drop that if you are in training camp, which is 100% true. I don't think a well-oiled, if you had all this practice together, you are not dropping that pass, or you have a little bit better timing as far as Brock Purdy, Brandon Ayuk, because we've seen it before. We know what it looks like at its prime.
But Brandon Ayuk was running routes in his backyard.
Oh yeah, next to a tree. That's cool.
The tree is a good defender.
Yeah,
we got to get him in the league. Apparently for the Jets, opposite Sauce Gardner, because Brock Purdy's slicing and dicing a little bit. I thought he made great decisions. I thought he made a lot of big boy throws that he's not going to get too much credit for, because it wasn't like this highlight reel mixtape type performance. It was really like, okay, this guy is an adult in the room right now. He's doing what it takes to get the job done, and he's not going to try to do too much.
Yeah, I mean, but overall, it's a good performance. It's one that you walk away from and you're like, okay, week one, we've put our stamp on it. This is 49ers football, and we are going to continue to move out throughout the rest of this season and prove that we are still one of the top contenders in the league.